The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we are live once again here on True School Sports. It's always good to be live with you guys. If you're on the East Coast like me, it is a little bit late. It's 11 o'clock at night. If you're on the West Coast, it's just now nighttime. It's 8:05 out on the West Coast, and Central Time, 10 p.m. And shout out to all of our friends across the pond, whether it be in the UK, Japan, or Australia. But got a great topic today. I'm gonna put my 1 hour in today, so this is gonna be like 1 hour live. We're gonna talk about the press conference that everyone's been talking about all over today. It's been the big story in boxing. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, obviously the big fight is coming up next month. It's a fight that we thought would never happen. And this press conference, I'm not going to lie to you, like the press conference wasn't, as far as the trash talk, it wasn't as over the top as I would have liked. Maybe that's just because it's only the first stop on the tour, because they're having another press conference tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow's press conference will be better. But I still think there was plenty to talk about in this press conference, and Ryan Garcia and Tank left us with enough to talk about for at least an hour, and then factor in like Bernard Hopkins and Leonard Ellerbe and a whole host of other things, and you just got a lot. You have a lot to talk about. So shout out to everybody here right now. There's only one person here right now, but shout out to everybody who's gonna be here. Shout out to everybody watching the playback. If you're watching the playback, don't be stingy. Smash that like button. If you're here, don't be stingy. Smash that like button and feel free to drop some comments, because I'll acknowledge people in the next couple minutes if there's some comments. But I got a little. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I got a little bit pissed off watching this press conference because I was trying to get along with my day today, and go ahead and go to the LA Fitness, go on the sauna, and get ready to go to the boxing gym, because every time I go to the boxing gym to train, I like to go to LA Fitness first and go in the sauna. It's like a thing I do. But I had to sit here and wait for 2 hours. Tank Davis. Let me tell you guys something before we get into the meat and potatoes of this whole press conference. Let me tell you guys something. I have covered 3 Gervonta Davis media workouts. 3 of them. I covered the Mario Barrios media workout. I covered the Isaac Cruz media workout, and I covered the Hector Luis Garcia media workout. In all 3 media workouts I've been to, 2 of them in Vegas, 1 in Miami, Tank Davis has never shown up on time. So it's not like when he comes out here and says, "Oh, it was unprofessional," and I'm sorry that I did that to you guys. He's just saying that. Tank Davis always shows up late to everything, as far as like media obligations and media work and things like that. So I hope he will stop making it a habit, but it's been a constant theme throughout his career. So it is what it is. We got K Diamond in the building. Shout out to K Diamond. She says, boxing fans are shitting on this fight already. Well, listen, a lot of these so-called hardcore boxing fans, they're very depressed people, and they can't get happy about anything. They're miserable people in their own lives. Like, I get where the hardcore fans coming from. Like, as a hardcore fan myself, like, I get it. This fight, in terms of the actual division as far as world titles, doesn't have any significance. It's really a guy that's not a lightweight anymore, who's really a 40-pounder, boiling himself down to a catch weight to fight a guy that really hasn't fought a lot of top 135 pounders in himself. That's from that. That's what it is, really. But Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia is bigger than just the small walls and the small corridors of the YouTube boxing community or the hardcore box fan community. These guys have their own fan bases. They're bringing that to this fight. And anybody who proclaims to love boxing, like this fight, along with Benavidez Plant, along with Inoue Fulton, you can't shit on any one of those 3 fights, because these are the fights that us boxing fans bitch and moan for every single day here on YouTube, on different channels and platforms. And now that they're being delivered, you shouldn't be out here, talking shit about the fights, because then if you talk shit about the fights, these promoters watch content and they're just gonna go ahead and not not make the fights happen, and you guys would be complaining about how the fights are happening. So, boxing fans can sometimes be very, very hard to satisfy. We got I don't know how to say this guy's name because I can't read Japanese. He says Tank is gonna win. He says, "Do you like Naoya Inoue?" I like Naoya Inoue so much, my friend, that I'm actually going to Japan for the fight. Yes, I don't know how many American boxing channels are going to be out in Japan for the fight, but I'll be one of them. I like Naoya Inoue and Stephen Fulton so much, and I love that fight so much. I'm going to be there. So if you're gonna be in Japan, I shall see you there, my friend. But anyway, yeah, man. By the way, I know we're talking about Tank versus Ryan. But it's still the road to Inoue Fulton. It's still, every day is the road to Inoue Fulton. So, really happy about that. Got some great things in the works that I'm working on right now as far as that trip. So more details on that later on. But let's not waste no time. Let's not miss no words. Let's get into the screen share because there's a lot that I want to talk about. There's a lot that I think needs to be discussed in regards to what took place today. So let's start off with tweet number 1. So we'll go tweet number 1. By the way, smash that like button if you're here and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Now, I didn't see this shit till just now, actually. I didn't see this during the press conference. I actually saw this just like an hour or two ago. So here's a video of Gervonta Davis, right? And he got to the press conference. They say 2 hours late. It was really an hour and 42 minutes according to Keith Idek. But yeah, just about 2 hours. Gervonta Davis strolls in. Now, look, I like his fit. I like the chinchilla coat. I like the glasses. I like the little Bo Jackson glasses he's got on. I like the Yankee cap, even though I'm not a Yankee fan. I like the jeans. I like the sneakers. But, man, this purse, man, I'm sorry. This green purse, you can't be wearing a pink chinchilla sweater with a green purse. Can't do that. That's a violation of the man law. That's a violation of masculinity 101. What's going on, Tank? I was already going with the upset. I was already picking Ryan Garcia to win this fight. But now after seeing this, after seeing Tank Davis with the green purse, I gotta pick Ryan Garcia for the sake of masculinity and manhood. I have to pick Ryan Garcia because I get it. Tank can fight. He could probably beat my ass and everybody's ass in the chat. I get all that. But bro, you are representing boxing, and you're wearing a green purse. Come on. You're already late, and you had time to carry this weird-ass green purse. And mind you, he's not even carrying it right. He's got his hand in his pocket, and it's just hanging. Come on, man. What's going on, Tank? What's going on, champ? I can't believe it. This is going to be a meme. This is going to be a meme for a long time. Tank Davis walking out with a pink chinchilla suit and a green purse. So you already know. That's how I know this is a big fight. You want to know how I know this is a big fight, guys? Because we've already gotten a couple memeable moments, classic moments, and this is one of them. This is the first one. So Tank Davis is violating masculinity, violating the man laws, which is don't wear women's clothing and don't wear women's accessories. A purse is a woman's accessory. Now, I don't know what's in that purse. That's probably the real question, right? What's in the damn purse? What is Tank carrying around in that purse, looking so tough, walking around with that purse? I don't know. Hey, do that in the comments, guys. What do you think Tank Davis has in his purse? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I just thought that was worth sharing because this press conference got off to a really rocky start with this. This whole fight promotion got out to a rocky start with this green purse. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Tank Davis, you gotta these fighters, they can't be wearing I don't know what it is with some of these fighters and some of these and most of these NBA players. They get a little bit of money and then I don't know, they get start buying stupid shit and wearing weirdo stuff. And this is one of them, So I digress. Right. Going to the next tweet now. This right here. Oh my God. This right here. Now, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. This was a sight for sore eyes when I saw this. When I laid my eyes on this image. This is Leonard Ellerbe. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. This is Leonard Ellerbe. He was at the press conference today. Now, funny enough, when I saw Leonard Ellerbe, I immediately thought of this man right here. Tell me, I want y'all to tell me, for those of you who watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, y'all tell me that Leonard Ellerbe and this man don't look the same. Look at this. Leonard Ellerbe, Uncle Phil. Leonard Ellerbe, Uncle Phil. Leonard Ellerbe, Uncle Phil. Leonard Ellerbe, man, the Uncle Phil of boxing. I don't know where the hell this beard came from. It kind of makes me wonder because, you know, his beard's always been black. So was Leonard Ellerbe using Just for Men to discolor his beard? I don't know. But all jokes aside, I did find it a little bit peculiar and strange that he was at the press conference because it was to my understanding that Gervonta Davis wasn't even signing Mayweather Promotions. So if Gervonta Davis is not working with Mayweather Promotions anymore, why is Leonard Ellerbe there? If Leonard Ellerbe is there, then that must mean that Gervonta Davis is still under contract with Mayweather Promotions. So there goes that. You know, I think Mayweather still has his hands in the cookie jar. But something to think about. I didn't really hear nobody talk about this today because I think Leonard Ellerbe's beard and Tank Davis's green purse, it distracted everybody from the fact that he was there and that, like, it kind of contradicts what we heard, you know, 2-3 months ago that Tank wasn't with Mayweather Promotions. So maybe one of you guys know better than me. Why on God's green earth was he there? Was he just there for moral support? I don't think so. Why would Leonard Ellerbe leave the comforts of the life he's built in Las Vegas to fly all the way to New York for a press conference if he didn't have some sort of monetary gain to receive in being at the press conference? You know, I just can't see it. Knowing how guys like Leonard Ellerbe move, I can't just see him going to a press conference unless he's still making money, which means I just truly believe that Tank is probably still Mayweather Promotions. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it really matters at this point who he's with, just so long as we, the fans and the sport and the public, get the fights we want. You know, I'm just happy it's happening. So, you know, those are my thoughts on the first two tweets. We will dissect the other ones later on. But shout out to everyone here. Yes, sir. We got my man Lance Meyer in the building. Good to see you, Lance. He says True School Sports. Good to see you, champ. Yes, sir. Brendan Smith. How you living, Brendan? Hope all is well. Tank will win 100%. I know Brendan's a big Tank fan, so good to see you here. He says, and then K Diamond also puts another comment and says, I swear on Twitter, bro, it's crazy. People talking down on the pay-per-view buys, and it's not a big fight at all. And like, bro, who cares? Yeah, like that's just that's the era we're in. That's the era we're in. You know, like people have gotten. I think like the promoters and some of the fighters and some of the powers that be, they've done a great job of boxing fans of getting us to think like them, talk like them, act like them, to now where we don't like, look, we're not, neither you nor I is going to see a dime of the promotion of this pay-per-view. You're not getting paid off of it. You know, I'll get paid off the videos I make off of it, but I'm saying as far as the actual promotion of the fight, I'm not going to make no, you know, real money from the fight, no money from the fight. So why do boxing fans care so much about pay-per-view buys? I mean, I haven't really looked into like what people are saying on Twitter because I've been busy all day today, but it sounds believable. You know, Tank Davis has a pretty delusional fan base. Ryan Garcia has a pretty delusional fan base. So, you know, it's believable, you know. But listen, for the rational boxing fans, and if you're on True School Sports, you're a rational boxing fan. For the rational ones out there in the world watching live and watching on the playback, filter all that out. Like, filter out any talk you're going to hear about pay-per-view buys, A side, B side talk. You know, to put it bluntly, like who gives a damn? Who cares? Who gives a rat's ass about pay-per-view buys? Who's the A side? Who's the B side? At the end of the day, we just want the big fight. We're getting it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the style matchup and things like that. You know, and anything that these fighters may say at the press conference. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I stand with it. I saw a lot of people trying to shit on the press conference. I think they wanted some WWE type drama. Well, you know, look, like what I took from it was, I feel like both Ryan and Tank understand what this fight means for the sport. Like, because boxing, you know, let's talk about it. Like, We didn't get Crawford Spence when it was supposed to happen, and if it happens now, it won't have the same significance anymore. So boxing's dropped the ball in a lot of fights. I mean, just today, Tyson Fury turned down what I thought was a fair offer for Usyk. So we still can't even get that fight. So there's a big responsibility on both these guys' shoulders to go out there and perform. And believe you me, they feel it. And that's why, despite all the trash talking, but despite all the hype on the Mike Tyson podcast, there was some trash talk here and there, but for the most part, it was the talk was very measured. It was very serious, and basically, you got two guys that just know that they have something very, very problematic to deal with in front of them. Tank has to deal with that long, rangy, explosive, power punching from Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has to deal with a calm, composed, smooth killer in Gervonta Davis. And neither one of them, I think, has seen anything like what they're about to see on April the 22nd. And that's why I think you got a lack of trash talk. But then it also could be, keep this in mind. It also could be the fact that, Tank showed up late. Ryan maybe was a little pissed off. And maybe that they were a little bit tired from traveling. Ryan's from California, so that's a long flight. So they're going back to California tomorrow for the second press conference. At some point in time, I think the rubber will meet the road. These guys will get sick of each other, and people will get what they want. They'll get some grade A shit talking. I'd be shocked if they didn't tomorrow, to be honest. Naoya Inoue is a very good personality and is a good young man. I want to be more popular in America. I do too. Inoue is I can't speak too much to his personality because I don't speak Japanese, but he's a great fighter, and I'm happy and honored to be going to his fight in May. Tank will win because Ryan say, "Why don't you hit this girl?" Yeah, I seen that. Ryan's been talking a lot about in the past about domestic violence and stuff like that. But look, none of that matters. All that matters is April the 22nd. All that matters is, can Tank get past them long arms and neutralize the left hook of Ryan Garcia and the straight right hand? Because people always talk about the left hook of Ryan Garcia so much to the point that they forget he's got a nice, deadly straight right hand. So don't forget that straight right hand that he's got. You see. Ellerbe got to find somebody to stay relevant at this point. Yeah, I guess so. So he's going with the whole Uncle Phil, Fresh Prince Bel-Air, gray beard look. More power to him. NBA Youngboy says it's makeup in his purse. Yeah, that midget Tank is getting his ass whooped. Think so? Well, we shall see. We shall soon see. Milo Grogan, what's good, champ? South Florida, stand up. I love your channel. Yes, please do, man. Please do. If you're new to the channel, which I assume you are, no American YouTube channel has covered and talked about Inoue Fulton more than me. I even interviewed Stephen Fulton about fighting Inoue last June. So go check out all the Inoue Fulton content on the channel. And definitely spread the news across Japan. I'm gonna be there. I look forward to meeting a lot of the Japanese viewers because I do have a lot of Japanese viewers. And it's gonna be a great time. I think this is the type of fight that will build and hype as we get closer to fight night, and I would agree. I would absolutely agree. Both men probably can't even. I think Tank and Ryan are just really they're kind of like we are. Like they can't believe that after all the talk and all the hype and all the hoopla, the fight's finally happening. So they're kind of like us, I feel like. And as things progress and reality sets in, and they really, really wrap their minds around what's at stake. You'll get. I think the people will get what they want. But that's my thoughts on that. Shout out to everyone here, man. Shout out to all 13 of you joining me on the late night stream. Make sure you smash that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, super chat, all that good stuff, man. We here. It's the untouchable, baby. The untouchable True School Sports. Let me know what you guys think of the press conference today. But getting back to Ryan Tank, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna cook on some other things that were relevant to this press conference. All right, so the press conference began, right? The press conference began. You had Bernard Hopkins looking like, freaking a black 1950s mobster, still in shape. You could tell he got the V cut going on. He got his shoulders popping out. Listen, Bernard Hopkins, he's still he's still in shape. He's still living the life. He's still living the fighter's lifestyle. So I respect him for that. I hope, because honestly, that's kind of inspiration for me, because when I get to 50, I want to look half as good as that. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Bernard Hopkins for taking care of himself. But Bernard Hopkins went up to the podium early in the press conference, and he pretty much said that he is the biggest instigator in boxing, and he's going to be instigating some drama, probably throughout this build-up. And he kind of got on Tank a little bit, because Tank, showed up late, and he kind of alluded to the unprofessionalism, but he was very forthcoming with his comments. He pretty much said, look, obviously I'm going to ride Ryan Garcia, but I can't fight for him. So April the 22nd, Ryan Garcia is going to have to go on there and prove me right. And we will see what happens. But yeah, like, I just honestly, like, shout out to everybody who got this fight done. Honestly, let's give the promoters their flowers. I know people in boxing like to complain. It's a fun thing to do, but man, they came together and they made it happen. Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, Al Heyman, TGB Promotions, Tom Brown. By the way, Tom Brown was going off in the press conference. He was like, yeah. If Tank Davis puts you on your ass, you're not gonna get up. Unlike Luke Campbell, like, he was talking. Tom Brown, TGB Promotions, was talking hellish shit. You guys didn't see the press conference in its entirety, go watch it and go watch what Tom Brown was saying. He was talking, that good stuff. That he was probably one of the more better parts of the press conference. But yeah, like, I think it was awesome too, because in the face-off, right after the press conference was over, you couldn't really hear everything Tank was saying, but you can kind of read his lips and see what he was saying to Ryan and the people from Golden Boy. And I saw Tank look at Bernard Hopkins while he was talking to Ryan, and he kind of gave Bernard Hopkins that look of like, look, I know Ryan's your fighter, I know Ryan's your boy, but I'm going to fuck him up, right? Like, I'm going to beat the brakes off your fighter. I'm about to, send this dude to the hospital. Like, he had that kind of a look. He was saying that, he was talking like that to Bernard Hopkins. So, the face-off was awesome. I think if I had one massive criticism of this fight, I really think Showtime should have turned off all the music, all the background noise, all of that, and they should have had boom microphones right there so we could hear every last word that Tank and Ryan were saying. That's what they should have did. But I'm sure when Showtime puts out their all access for this fight to promote it, I'm going to hope they do what they do for all the other fights where they have the fighters mic'd up and we can finally hear what Ryan and Tank were saying in the exchanges, because I had to sit there and try to read lips, and that's not cool. We want to hear what they're saying. We want to feel like we're part of the fight as much as possible. So hopefully when the all access comes out, they do right and they have the audio for what was being said word for word in the face-off. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing that was made a big deal of in this fight, in the whole press conference, was Ryan Garcia was very frustrated with Tank not getting there on time. But I like some of the things. I did like some of the things he says, because it showed that, like, while he may have this good guy look to him, he showed early on in this buildup that he gives not a rat's ass about Tank Davis or any of this killer aura that people perceive him to have. He said, I remember him saying this. He said this as soon as he walked into the building and Tank was like late. He said that Gervonta Davis doesn't have the heart of a champion, and he said, look at how Tank is representing himself. Look at the fact that he's not even being a professional, which is a big deal. You gotta be professional. Every man in his life, myself included, should strive to be a professional. And Tank wasn't a professional. And then Ryan went on about how, there's been rehydration clauses. They've been trying to drain him. These kind of things, like, for example, like Keith Iddick talked about it right here. Basically, that there's a clause where Ryan Garcia cannot rehydrate above 146 pounds. So it's a 10-pound rehydration clause. So that's what it is. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, if Ryan Garcia continues to harp on the rehydration clause, then I'm gonna start thinking he's making an excuse, because the reality is, and just being fair and unbiased, because I mean, I'm picking Ryan. I like Ryan. I like Tank too, but I'm picking Ryan. Like, Ryan is a big guy. Ryan is a 40-pounder, all right? It'd be very easy for him to rehydrate up into the high 140s or the low 150s. And I think with Tank being a smaller guy, this is a guy in Tank that he fought at 130. Ryan Garcia never fought on no damn 130. So Tank's just trying to make sure that he don't rehydrate too damn much, because then it's Ryan Garcia is going to be on this Dave Benavidez bully shit, and we don't want that. We want a fair fight. So just so long as there's no other funny business, I don't see 146 being crazy. A 10-pound rehydrating clause for Ryan, I don't think is crazy. He even said it himself. Like, you can see it right here. Ryan said he usually comes to the ring about 148. So 146 shouldn't be too much. But I'm just praying to God, like if Tank does knock out Ryan Garcia, I don't want to hear an excuse. I don't want to hear like Ryan using this to discredit any win Tank may get, So that's where I'm at. Let me see. Shout out to everybody here. Let me see. NBA Youngboy says, is Inoue Fulton really that good of a fight? Personally, I feel as though Inoue is too good of a fighter. It's an amazing fight. It's the best fight for me on the schedule. Like, I know Ryan and Tank's gonna have the casuals, but for me, that's the best fight on the schedule. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why, you ask? Because for one, not only are both guys undefeated, both guys are undefeated with way more substance on their resumes than a Tank or Ryan. Like, all respect to Tank, all respect to Ryan. They're big stars. We appreciate them for making the big fight happen. But when we talk about that boxing talk, the resumes, who have you beat talk, Inoue and Fulton just have way more heat on the resume than a Tank or a Ryan. That's just facts. So that makes it a better fight. That makes it a really good fight. Second of all, neither one of them has seen another fighter like themselves. Fulton has something very different than what Inoue is accustomed to, and likewise for Inoue with Fulton. And then on top of that, factor in, when we talk about American fighters, most American fighters do not travel across the pond to fight for a world title, and it almost never happens. It almost never happens that a champion, an American champion, an American world champion, an American world champion of Stephen Fulton's significance goes, and he's not going to Japan to go get a belt. He's going to Japan to defend a belt against a guy that's a great little man. This is kind of like, I'm not going to say it's not this exact type of a fight, but it's a similar scenario in a sense to like a fight like Salvador Sanchez and Wilfredo Gomez. Wilfredo Gomez was knocking out everybody in the lower weight classes, but then when he stepped in and fought Salvador Sanchez, you saw what happened. So like, this could be on obviously, I don't want to say a lesser scale, but in a different way, kind of like that fight. If we're talking about similarities and boxing history and things like that, that's a fight that comes to mind. Only because Wilfredo Gomez was a knockout artist in the lower weight classes who really seemed like he couldn't be beat, and it's the same thing with Inoue. And they're both moving up to fight a fighter that's longer and probably, a longer and also an elite boxer. So we'll see what happens. Let me see. Shout out to everybody here. Who else we got here? Adrian Ramirez. Shout out to Adrian. He says, "What if Ryan knocks out Tank? Are there going to be any excuses from you by Tank having a rematch clause? If he loses, that already tells me he's not 100%. He can beat Ryan. That's just my opinion." Now, I'll answer your question with another question. Why would I have any excuses for Gervonta Davis? I'm picking Ryan Garcia. I've been very forthcoming and open about that for months here on this channel. So I don't have any excuse to make for Tank Davis because I'm not picking him. As far as rematch clause, yeah, I can see that. Like, personally, that's kind of how I feel too. I kind of feel like, why can't both fighters have a rematch clause? Like, I feel like this fight is so big and both fighters bring so much value to this fight so far as viewership, eyeballs, attention, that both fighters should have a rematch clause if the fight warrants a rematch. The fact that it's a one-sided rematch clause, I'm not mad at you one bit for thinking that, because that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. To each their own. Inoue and Fulton are pretty clear-cut number one. Exactly, yeah. Like, this isn't like, because I know Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins and all the suits involved in this fight. They're gonna pitch this fight to you guys as this is the best fight in boxing. It's the two best lightweights in the world. But the reality is, and mind you, I'm not even a massive Devin Haney fan, but the reality is Devin Haney is the undisputed champion. Devin Haney has all the belts. Devin Haney is the man to beat in the lightweight division. If you want to go around parading yourself as the best lightweight in the world, you can't do that until you take them straps off Devin Haney, because he went and he collected all the straps. So it is what it is. I don't care if you thought George Kambosos wasn't that good or whatever the case may be. All the reality is Devin Haney. So he's undisputed. We got my man Daniel Rubin in the chat. He says, "Man, you missed a barn burner." And shout out to Daniel Rubin and all the fine folks at Pro Box Promotions, Pro Box TV. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it later on. I'm probably gonna watch it before I go to sleep today, or maybe tomorrow morning. Yeah, I gotta check it out. I really want to bet on, and by the way, shout out to History. I really want to bet on Ryan by KO, but I don't even know if there's rematch clause. No, there's rematch clause if Tank wins. There's no rematch clause for Ryan. If Ryan wins, then there's rematch clause. That's the way it's going. He said, "Yes, you're picking Ryan at this moment, but for a long time you said Ryan couldn't beat Tank. Why did you switch sides?" I switched sides. I can actually pinpoint and tell you when I switched sides on the fight. I switched sides last March when I seen Ryan train in person. When I seen Ryan Garcia train in person, and it's no bullshit, because I've seen Tank train in person a couple times. I've seen Devin train. I've seen Shakur spar. I've seen T.O. spar. I've seen almost every fighter. I've seen George Kambosos train. All these guys, pretty much almost all of them. When I seen Ryan Garcia train in person, I'm not like, it's no bullshit. I saw one of the best fighters I've ever seen in the gym. Any weight class. I'm talking heavyweight, light heavyweight, 140. Like, he's just, God blessed him. God blessed him with some freakish skills. And the thing is, right? The thing is, and this kind of what I want to highlight. He blessed Ryan Garcia with some freakish talent, but now I think Ryan's got the kind of coach that's right for him in Joe Goossen. I didn't like the Joe Goossen fit at first, because when I was there in San Diego at his media workout, it just kind of seemed like Joe Goossen was just kind of dick ride Ryan Garcia. That's kind of like what it seemed like, because he was just talking all this great things about Ryan Garcia. But when you cut it up, slice it, and dice it, Joe Goossen is still a very experienced trainer, and he's got a lot to offer Ryan Garcia. And I just think I think it's the right coach for him. Joe Goossen wouldn't be the right at this moment in time, at this stage of Joe Goossen's life, where he's kind of old and he really doesn't give a rat's ass about anything. I don't think Joe Goossen will be the right coach for a lot of fighters, but for a fighter like Ryan Garcia, it's the kind of challenge that will get him up in the morning, and it's the right coach for him. That's how I feel. So yeah, last March is when I really started to like see Ryan Garcia in a different light, because before I went to San Diego and seen him train for myself with my own eyes, I was kind of like the rest of the world. I was like, Ryan Garcia is a social media star. He's fast, but that's about it. But then when you really see that speed and the power and how big he is and the reflexes and all these and all the things he brings to the table, it's really hard to actually see that shit in person and then think the way you once thought. So I hope that answers your question. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Morales, what's good, champ? He says, it's corny how people are saying Tank is going to win because he's from the street. That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. Boxing's not about if you're from the streets. It's not about if you're from the suburbs. When you get in that ring, the only thing that matters is, have you put the work in? Have you fine-tuned your skills? And can you stay calm enough to apply those skills? And that can like a person from the streets can be that person, and a person who's not from the streets can be that person. It's just really about what it depends on the individual. One thing about Tank, let's be honest. I like Tank. You know, I've been around him a couple times. I quite like him actually. I've actually probably done some of the better interviews out there with him. But like Tank Davis, he really hasn't fought nobody that when he goes into a fight, you know, if he gets like he's never had another fighter across the ring in under the lights where he could say, okay, if I get hit by this guy, I'm gonna actually have to worry. You know, like who maybe Rolly, but like Rolly just I like Rolly, but Rolly wasn't experienced or educated enough or skilled enough to apply his power. So it's a different story with Ryan Garcia because Ryan Garcia has much better amateur pedigree. He's taller, he's longer, he's more athletic than, you know, Rolly. I just think it's a good matchup for him. But just so you know, Adrian, I don't have Ryan Garcia by knockout. I don't have my knockout. Let me be clear. I'm not picking Ryan Garcia by knockout. I'm picking Ryan Garcia by decision. That's my prediction. I don't have Ryan Garcia by knockout. I think this fight is actually gonna turn into a technical fight than people think. I think Ryan Garcia having that long reach advantage, he's gonna try to box a very disciplined game plan off that tall, long, rangy frame. He's got the amateur experience to do it. If Joe Goosen is half the trainer I think he is, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be somewhere in their game plan for Ryan Garcia to exploit his height advantage. And part of exploiting his height advantage is going to be, you know, boxing very nice and tall off that long, rangy frame of his, that long, rangy body of his. He's going to have like a 5, 6, 7 inch reach advantage on Tank. So I would expect that to be somewhere in the game plan. So I'm going Ryan by UD. Inoue Fulton is big, but it sure don't feel like one. Mr. True School, PBC really put money on this presser. Come on, Hyro. We know that's you. We know that's you, Hyro. We know that's you. No, I didn't watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it. Maybe before I go to sleep, or maybe like tomorrow at some point. I'm not sure. I'm a busy man, but I heard it was great. No head movement, mistakes all day. Kid is a crazy hype job. Negative. You're wrong. I don't think Tank is a hype job, and I don't think Ryan is a hype job. I don't think you get to this level of boxing like these guys, going through the day-to-day grind like these guys being a hype job. I think they're both exceptionally talented. I don't think either one's best lightweight, but neither one of them are hype jobs. Cut that out. Ryan doesn't take boxing serious. This is the main problem picking winner. However, I feel the same. If this fight is 100% legit, I don't see how Ryan can lose if he's patient. That's kind of where I'm at. And I've been telling my boy Stacey McKinley. I've been telling Stacey McKinley that I think Ryan's gonna win. And Stacey's looking at me crazy, but it ain't the first time he's looked at me crazy. So we'll take it how it comes. Easy BX, what's good? Chemby says the press conference was boring. Yeah, it wasn't like Tank versus Rolly. It wasn't that type of press conference, but I think tomorrow's press conference will be better. There's still some things to take away from it, so we shall soon see. But I got a couple more things I want to cook on, and then we'll go from there. So where was I at? Rehydration clause. I did these 3. What's here? So Ryan Garcia stated, because this came up in the press conference today. And by the way, make sure you smash that like button, guys. Don't be stingy. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. But this came up today because, as you guys may remember, Ryan Garcia, when he was on the Mike Tyson podcast, had that very famous exchange with Tank Davis where Mike Tyson got on the iPhone and FaceTimed him. And Ryan Garcia said, 2 rounds. I'm going to knock you out in 2 rounds. And basically, like, that came up today in the press conference, and he was asked, are you going to knock Tank out in 2 rounds? And he said that he's obviously shooting for the 2 rounds, but he's ready for 12. So I think it's a good answer. Like, I don't think he should bank or just train on getting a knockout against Tank Davis, because this is high-level boxing, and it's very seldom at this level that a fighter gets a knockout in 2 rounds. It's very rare. When two guys fight in their primes, at their best, at the peak of their powers, that someone's going to get starched in 2 rounds. So I just thought it was a good answer. I thought so. So, yeah. And then the last thing is this, and then I want to wrap up my my Twitter bullet points with this. Now I'm not going to click on this video, but this was a subject of conversation throughout the press conference, throughout the Showtime telecast, before the press conference, and even after the press conference when they interviewed Gervonta Davis, which is the fact that because these guys have such a fan base outside of boxing, and because they're able to garner and generate so much interest from not just hardcore boxing fans, but casual fans, there's a lot of opinions out there of the fact that maybe the winner of this fight can be crowned the next face of boxing. Now, truth be told, I'm not sure where I stand with that, because I'm still kind of waiting to see how the rest of this build-up is going to be. Like, I know this fight's going to be big, but I'm not sure how big it's going to be. It's the first fight in a long time, probably since, like, I would say, like, Mayweather Pacquiao, where I really don't know, and I'm not even going to put a cap on how big the fight can get, because Ryan has crazy social media following, Tank has crazy social media following, and both men have had great moments in their careers already. Like, you think about some of the great moments these men have already delivered. I was in the Alamo Dome when Gervonta Davis nailed Leo Santa Cruz to the canvas. Ryan Garcia getting him off the canvas to knock out Luke Campbell. Like, these guys have been built up properly. So you got to give credit to Mayweather Promotions and Al Heyman and PBC, and you got to give credit to Golden Boy, because they built these guys up to this point to where they've fought the right opponents to look good, look sensational, and deliver these highlight reel knockouts. And now someone's got to prove that they're everything they say they're about, and step in there with another real one. So, is the winner of this fight the face of boxing? I don't know. I still think that's Canelo. As much as I'm not like a huge Canelo fan, like, until the day I think he retires, I think Canelo will probably be the face of boxing, just because of the interest he's able to generate. But if we're looking at the next face of boxing, it could come from this fight. I think that's very realistic, because of the interest these guys generate, and the fact that, like, let's just say if you are trying to get your friends who don't normally watch boxing to watch boxing, this is going to be one of the fights you tell them to watch. Why? Because you know that Gervonta Davis has a high probability of getting a knockout. And you know that Ryan Garcia has a high probability of getting a knockout. And the one thing that converts casuals to hardcores, or just fans in general, casual fans or non-fans to casual fans, then to hardcores, is knockouts. Everyone loves knockouts. I mean, it's the ultimate achievement in boxing to knock your opponent out. So I'm not going to say whoever wins this fight is the face of boxing. But I will say, if whoever wins this fight, if any one of these guys is to win this fight in a sensational fashion, I'm talking about like a fashion where you give people a moment to remember you by forever, an exclamation point, a knockout punch, then I'm looking at, okay, now we might have a face of boxing. But if it's like, if Ryan Garcia wins an intelligent decision and nobody gets knocked down, nobody gets hurt, it's going to be great for him. But, I would still pump. It all depends on the moments, because at the end of the day, boxing is show business with blood. And when you talk about show business, when you talk about like plays and musicals and shit like that, all the plays and musicals that people pay their hard-earned money for are the ones that tug on their heartstrings. Why? Because there's moments in those musicals, there's moments in those movies that give people a certain type of feeling. And it's the same thing with boxing. You love certain fighters because when you watch them fight, they gave you a certain type of feeling. Mike Tyson with the knockouts, Floyd with the counterpunching, Oscar De La Hoya when he would walk to the ring and have the Mexican and the Chicanos cheering for him. It's the moments. That's what boxing's about. So that's my take on the whole face of boxing thing. But that's my those are my like little Twitter bullet points. Those are my Twitter bullet points for the day. So I got 15 more minutes. I'll cook for 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get up on out of here. But let's get to the comments. He says, I think Gervonta is going to knock him down because of how crafty he is. I got Tanner Davis by decision. You're going to get exposed. Absolutely not. No way. We'll see. We'll see. Ron W. Ron W. says Ryan doesn't take boxing seriously. I didn't say that. I was just reading a comment, my friend. But listen. Speaking as somebody who's started rigorous training in boxing over the last 2 weeks or so, I can tell you guys, anybody who's anywhere within shouting distance of the level of Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, I'm talking about not even just them. I'm talking about like guys in the top 10, guys in the top 15. The kind of beatdown and what these guys put their bodies through is just utterly ridiculous. So, yeah. Can you ask Stacey McKinley about Sugar Ray Robinson's candy cane punch? I saw him teaching it to a fighter in a video. Why not? Why not? Y'all want him to outweigh that man by like 20 or 30 pounds just to see him lose while being extra big. I mean, Tank don't want to see it, so that's all that matters. And Fulton Inoue does mean a lot more. I agree. It means a lot more to me too, because I'm definitely going to Japan for the fight. Are they the face of boxing above Naoya Inoue? That's a great question. Naoya Inoue is like the LeBron James of Japan. It's this guy, LeBron James, Tom Brady. You know, he's them guys of Japan as far as star power and all that stuff. I think Bob Arum and Top Rank still have some more work to do with building him here in the States. Like, truth be told, I kind of feel like they dropped the ball on promoting him here because, you know, you look at like Otani, the baseball player in LA for the Angels. Look at how big of a star he is. Why hasn't Top Rank capitalized on Inoue fighting in a place like LA with a big Asian population? Like, to me, the day he signed the Top Rank contract, he should have been fighting in LA regularly. They should have been building him up over there. But that's just me. You know, who am I? I'm just a kid with some boxing posters and flamingos on his wall. Yeah, I mean, there have been quite a lot of shit shows. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you on that one. You know what I'm saying? BT, I thought Ellerbe and Floyd. That's what I thought. I was kind of talking about that earlier in the live. Like, Ellerbe wasn't with Tank. Now he's at his press conference talking about how Ryan's still gonna get beat up, and so I kind of knew it was BS. Like, I still feel like they're still playing a role in his career. But, you know, listen. Who gives a damn? I don't care if Mickey Mouse or Barney promotes Gervonta Davis. Just so long as the boxing fans can get the fights we want at a good, reasonable time, then yeah, I'm good with it. We'll see. What's Hyro going on? Hyro's on that bullshit. He says, man, PBC is really bringing the fights the majority of the world care about. No offense, only an island and a few people care about the Japan fight. I guarantee you, Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton's ratings in Japan will do way more views and pay-per-view buys than Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia in America. I'll put money on that. I'll put money on it. That's easy money. I guarantee you, Inoue Fulton TV ratings in Japan are higher than any ratings that pay-per-view buys or anything that Tank and Ryan are going to do. So I don't get where you're coming from. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say in the press conference. It wasn't the craziest press conference of all time. I'm hoping tomorrow we get a better one. I'm hoping tomorrow, you know, Ryan Garcia and Tank, they come out here and they talk that cash shit, because that's what we need in boxing. We would, you know, at some point, you know, the rubber's got to meet the road. At some point, Tank's got to get sick of Ryan. Ryan's got to get sick of Tank, and we gotta basically hear them go at it a little bit more. I kind of want to see that same energy they had on the Mike Tyson podcast resurfaced during the buildup at some point. But yeah, we got 10 minutes left, guys. So any questions you guys got, any thoughts, comments, concerns, let me know. Let me know while I'm here, because once that shit touches an hour, I'm getting out of here, because I've had a long day today and I have things to do. But Just so you guys know, there's gonna be 2 live fight reactions this weekend. Programming reminders in advance. I'm gonna be live for Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison, and I'll also be live for Diego Pacheco versus Jack Cullen. So, 2 live fight reactions. Make sure you guys make your plans and be around for those. BT, do you think Ryan not taking a fight before this will have an effect on him? Yeah, I think so. I think it could. Tank's obviously been the more active guy. Activity matters. You know, the main thing for a fighter is activity. You know, when you're active, your timing is on point and you're sharp. So I think if it's going to affect him, it's going to affect his timing in the fight. Comparing viewers is like platinum in the US and I mean the fight's on ESPN, so I don't know what you're talking about. Would you consider Stephen Fulton top 5 pound for pound if he beats Naoya Inoue? Yes. I already have him top 10 pound for pound. I would have him like 10. I already have him like 10 on my. I know most people don't have him on the pound for pound top 10, but he if I had a list, he'd be like number 9, number 10. He's done so much in his career. The undefeated all the undefeated fighters he's beaten. You know, how could you hate on Stephen Fulton? If he beats Inoue, I mean, legit. If he beats Inoue, when you factor in all the undefeated guys he's beaten and the undefeated champions, and then you add Inoue to that, you can make the argument he might be number 1. If you're adding if he beats Inoue, that is. That's just me. I know a lot of people aren't going to say that because it's not popular to say that, but it's the truth. If you think Inoue is as good as you say he is, right, and Stephen Fulton goes to Japan and beats him, and you factor in that win with 2 other undefeated champions and like 3 or 4 undefeated fighters he's beaten, half his damn record would be half of his damn wins, damn near undefeated fighters. How in the hell could you not consider him top 5 pound for pound? People don't know how to be honest with themselves. Stephen Fulton is better than Haney. He is. Devin Haney, I like Devin. Devin's cool, but Devin, like, I mean, I give him credit for George, but like he hasn't beaten a murderer's row of fighters. Let's not kid ourselves. You know, he's got 27 fights. A lot of them were in Mexico. Let's not be foolish. The viewers are going to come from Japan on ESPN, where it's broadcast in America in the morning. Nobody is going to watch unless you fight hyper hardcores. Well, all the hardcores are going to watch it, Tyro. You always out here trying to downplay all the real fights. You always want to downplay the real fights to freaking suck off PBC and Al Heyman, man. Just enjoy all the boxing. Don't stop trying to just be biased towards PBC and Al Heyman all the time. You always want to dick ride Al Heyman and PBC. But I will say this, I'm not a hater. Like right now, Al Heyman and PBC, they probably got the best schedule in boxing. Like as far as America is concerned, if we're talking about USA fights, they got the best schedule. Tank Ryan, Plant Benavidez, I mean, those are like 2 of the best fights. Nah, to me, he's already top 10. Like I already have him slotted 10. He's already like 10 or 9, somewhere around there. Because his resume has too much substance for such little fights for me to not have him in the top 10. He's making a massive argument for number 1 if he beats Inoue for me. Because if people are gonna sit here and say Inoue's top 3 and Inoue's number 1, and then he's beating and then Fulton's already beating all these undefeated guys, and then he adds that scalp to his resume, then you gotta give him some consideration. How do you envision the card to look for Ryan versus Tank? It's a great question. I would expect some Golden Boy fighters, and I would expect some PBC. I'm not sure. I'll tell you some fighters I'd like to see, and I'll name you guys like 3 fighters. I'll name you 3 fighters I want to see on the Tank Ryan Garcia undercard. Okay, here's 3 fighters that I think should be on the undercard. Atif Overton, the light heavyweight prospect in PBC. I want to see him on the card. Eric Tudor, who just signed with Golden Boy from South Florida, the 54-pounder. And I want to see that kid, Elijah Garcia. That kid, Elijah Garcia, who just got the knockout win over Amil Carvidal. Those are three guys I like to see on the undercard, but obviously they're gonna obviously need some bigger names than what I named. Floyd Schofield is on the card. Floyd Schofield is cool. I like Floyd Schofield. BT, do you rank Ken Shiro or Stephen Fulton right now? That's a great question. It's definitely an argument you can make. It's definitely a big argument. I mean, Ken Shiro, what? He's what is he like? Is he just, correct me if I'm wrong, I know he's been light flyweight champion. He gets beat the brakes off Kaiguchi. I would slightly say I lean like by like this much Fulton over Ken Shiro, but it's not by a lot. I want to see Ken Shiro go ahead and see who could he fight. I mean, just clear out his weight class, you know. But he ain't too far off. He's a great fighter, Ken Shiro. Eric Tudor reminds me of a bigger version of Ryan Garcia. He is, but like I like Eric, but Eric I don't think has the gas tank or the explosiveness of Ryan Garcia. He's explosive, but he's got some things to work on. He's a work in progress. You know, really nice young man, good kid. You know, been seeing him and his brother Sasha in gyms here in South Florida for years. So I love the Tudor brothers. I'm looking forward to Sasha turning pro one of these years. But yeah, I like Eric. I actually seen him do some sparring recently. I saw him do some sparring at Boca Pau recently, and he was doing his thing for as long as he was in there. It was a good little sparring session he had. But yeah, hopefully he gets in the car because he's not one of these fighters that talks a whole lot. But man, he's about that action, and he got a fan-friendly style. Yeah, I know he's fighting Jonathan Gonzalez. That's a good fight. Jonathan Gonzalez has never lost at 108. But Jonathan Gonzalez is not Naoya Inoue, so well, Jairo, until you can spar half of a round in the boxing ring, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say about these low weight classes. Those guys are killers. Maybe you should go spar one. Jairo, if you want to continue to shit on them, when I go to LA, I'll set it up. You can go in the boxing ring and you can go spar one of these top 108 fighters, and let's see how that goes for you. Let's see how it goes. What do you think, Jairo? But listen, guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. But before I wrap it up, let me just say thank you guys for joining me. I know it was a bit of a late live, but I do appreciate everyone who shows up to these lives and shows love. So shout out to you guys watching live, and shout out to you guys on the playback if you watch on the playback. And yeah, tomorrow Ryan Garcia and Tank will have yet another press conference, and we'll see how it goes. I hope it's more exciting because I don't want to come on here and talk about no bullshit press conference. So hopefully it's better than the one today. And yeah, make sure you guys continue to support the channel. Going to Japan soon. Very excited about it. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop talking about it because I'm just over the moon about it. But going to be a great time. Continue to support the channel. We're closing in on 51,000 subscribers. I see your hand history. Ken Shiro has 9 title defenses. I get what you're saying. I'm not mad at you if you got it. I said it's like they're like right there. It's not. I don't think one's like extra above the other. But yeah, like keep supporting the channel. I'm closing on that 51K soon, so really excited about that. Trying to get to 100K as quickly as possible. So please, guys, help me with that, and just keep supporting the Real Boxing Talk, man. Trying to be one of the real boxing channels on here because there's a lot of fake, fraudulent, perpetrating efforts on the in the YouTube boxing community. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of things going on. Make sure you guys keep supporting. Make sure you guys make your plans this weekend for the lives. We got, like I mentioned already, Diego Pacheco fighting Jack Cullen, Tony Harrison versus Tim Tszyu. Both interesting fights. Join me for those. And yeah, I got stuff going on, and you guys will see later on what's coming out here on True School Sports. But like I say in every single one of these videos, you guys can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from dang it. So until next time, take care, guys.